Welcome, good morning, and welcome, should I say, once again back to what we're doing. The Apex is back. Yes, the Warriors are back out in full effect, active, activated. Yeah, we're there. And we'll also be doing a return of the series of the 90s, talking about how the sound systems came into effect. Been enjoying it so far. We'll be doing more of the things that we're good at and less of the things we're not so good at, but we'll still be trying them anyway. So, yes, people, where did we get to? We got to 90s with the sound system and the sound system culture. Some of the biggest influences on the scene of the sound system was, of course, the MCs, the music that they brought out, some of the memorable MCs of the time: Lieutenant Stitchie, Josie Wales, Papa San, Johnny P, just to mention a few names. Also, Professor Nuts. There were also a lot of sound systems, labels that had a collective of artists, Jammies being one. So you remember Admiral Bailey was part of the Jammies crew, and he also had Lieutenant Stitchie, Risto Benji, even Beanie Man making an appearance. There were a lot of different artists, Colin Roach, to mention a few, Anthony Malvo, Anthony Redrose. These were all prolific artists at the time. We also had Courtney Melody doing major things in the scene at the time. Sanchez, Frankie Paul. These were all the sound system favorites. But all of these artists had something in common, and you'll be wondering what that was. I'll answer that as saying they all were recording artists, they all recorded. And not only were the artists famous at the time, but also the producers at that time were very prominent and well known. And you, as a selector or as a person buying music, would often buy music based on the quality of the songs. And the songs' quality was down to the producer. You had people like Donovan Jermaine, you had Bobby Digital, you had King Jammies, you had Black Scorpio, Jack Scorpio. These were some of the main producers at the time. You also had Niney, had other people, selectors. We had also engineers becoming famous as well for what they were doing on the music. So this was a time for labels, labels like Madhouse, Jammies, who I've mentioned, Black Scorpio. These were some of the prominent labels. Bobby Digital, Live and Love label. These were the labels that people would often have in their record box. Unity Sound, another label, although it was British made, like Green Sleeves and other labels, they had a British connection as well as a Jamaican connection. And the artists who were from Jamaica would often travel to the UK to get more gigs, get more experience on the scene, as did Tonto Irie, Frankie Paul, Supercat, all took time out to visit the shores of the UK. Papa San, Professor Nuts, Daddy Freddy, they were all over in the UK. Tenor. So music was expanding. We was gaining experience as young musicians, young people in the music game, albeit at the entrance level of sound system, and selectors and DJs and MCs and blues parties. This was what was going on in the early 90s. And I mentioned some of the artists who I can recall were the big names. We also had all the other singers and other artists who were being played: Dennis Brown, Gregory, John Holt. They were all being played in the dance hall, as well as some of the newer artists who were coming out. So this was just an introduction to what we're going to be doing for the new series, talking about the 90s and talking about some of the training activities you can do that I'm now doing. We're doing more and more every day. So yeah, keep yourself active. This is also like a look back on what I was doing over a year ago and some of it is a look back at what I was doing more than a decade ago, more than 2 or 3 decades ago. So that's how long we've been participating in the music industry. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you soon.